Hello there. Today we're going to be test drafting the Shepherd Cube, which was designed by Devoted Shepherd. I picked this one up in the Cube Talk Discord as well, in the Draft Mine, Draft Yours channel. So let's just take a quick look at the overview before we get going. I read this before I started recording, and originally when I was reading the intro here, it talks a lot about how we've discovered that winning with this Springjack Shepherd is how people are going to do this. So I thought, off the cuff, oh, we got another 100 ornithopters type situation here, except with goat tokens. But it turns out, as you get reading, that no, this isn't an ornithopter cube. This is something potentially much more wild. Interest in time, I'm not going to talk about all of the archetypes. We can just skim through. We have a tokens archetype that makes a lot of sense with a shepherd. Enchantments, things as a theme of things here, like the sigil, which could turn our goats into angels. A cute little combo right on the front page where you turn everything into an enchantment and then steal them all with Aura Thief. Citizen Champion just to guys do some value enchantments. Willy Wonka's Proliferate Factory. I think that kind of does what it says on the tin. You're going to have counters and proliferate all sorts of different counters. Mad causes bad. I was delighted to see we have a one with nothing. I've looked with this card about a million times and always assumed it's going to do nothing, much like its name says. Be excited to see if this cube actually supports it. We have some discard enablers and payoffs here. Copium Graveyard, got a Phyrexian Dreadnought, so I guess you need stifle effects regardless of if that's in the graveyard or not. A couple other things to play with the graveyard. And again, this big long description here. Fun Police. I think again that does what you think it is. We're going to do some Esper control. Although I do like the stop the 5-card combos, but lose to some 2-drop with haste. That is how these decks tend to roll. Where did my board go? I don't know if this is like board wipes or something. Again, a lot of cards I'm not super familiar with up here. The Karate Kids. We got like 2 prowess creatures. We got the monk that deals with non-combat. Then we have Delina just hanging out here. Not sure why she belongs in this package, but here she is. I don't like the One Ring, neither do I. Not really sure what's going on here. Something with artifacts and Storm. I guess that's pretty self-explanatory. So again, it does say at the top that we're going to be playing around with Springjack Shepherd. I wanted to see exactly how much. So we just quickly flip over to the main board and filter. I was thinking there'd be goats everywhere, maybe multiple copies, but really does look like that's just part of the intro. There's not a lot of ways to make goats, sadly. I guess you can make a ton of goats over time with Springjack Pasture, or Trading Post as long as you have life, but not a lot of goats. Okay, so we're gonna maybe just jump back out to the main list here. I don't think it's worth trying to analyze this full list ahead of the draft. It's a 540. We have some wild archetypes, but maybe we can just look at kind of the composition of the mana base, because that could inform how highly we take lands. So it looks like we have 2, 4, 6 lands for each of the guilds here, and it doesn't look like we have anything in the way of fetches. I see a creature land, I see artifact land for that deck, creature land in most colors. Yeah, some cycling lands, part for the discard. Okay, so not the world's best mana base, that's alright. We have the landscapes versus the triomes, and some number of utility lands at the bottom here. So let's just get hopping into a practice draft. Okay, so pack one, pick one. We see an awful lot of cards. So often, well, there's a Phyrexian Dreadnought that we saw earlier. Presumably we have stifle effects or some other way to cheat around the ETB. So that might be something we pick up just because it would be fun to build around. Alta. Big green dummy, some aristocrat stuff going on. I often, when I'm first drafting cubes, so like to try to draft something straightforward. That said, I've never ever played with a Phyrexian Dreadnought, so let's see if we can be on the lookout for ways to cheat him in. Alright, so let's go ahead with this. Helm of the Host. Well, that's not going to work with a Dreadnought, but that's kind of a cute card. When I got back into Magic, it was in the Dominaria set, and I remember opening a Helm of the Host, and that was a lot of fun. I've got some simple removal in here, some tokens. I do find cubes like this with a lot going on to be a little bit overwhelming. I'm trying to hold all of those color pairs in my head and not doing a good job. Some of the charge counters, a command. Maybe because there's this token theme, we'll take this Echo and Decay. I like to get some removal in early. This would wipe out, well, could shrink all of the goats or similar things. So let's take that, I guess. Still gonna be on the lookout for anything with a Dreadnought, but maybe I shouldn't give it a lot of weight. There's a Madness card. There was all that discard stuff in black. Zombies on the board. A lot of cards I don't recognize here. Slightly overwhelming. First mirror enters battlefield. You may have become a copy of a creature on the battlefield until end of turn, except it has haste. If that wasn't until end of turn, that would work with a Dreadnought. Spend 10. I don't think I'm going to sign up for suspend 10. I'm going to read the rest of the card. Counters. Oh, a counters payoff. Let's just take that stick in black for now while we try and figure out what we're doing. Well, this mandate kind of works as a 2-card combo with our Dreadnought. Makes it a pretty big board wipe. With a leveler, exile all cards from your library. 9-8 where I can skip my next 2 turns. Again, this if I can find ways to avoid these triggers, these ETBs. So okay, maybe we do that and trust that we're going to find some way to avoid ETBs. Maybe there'll be like a sundial of an infinite or something like that. Pandemonium. Okay. Well, that works with both the Dreadnought and the Eater. The Pandemonium, when any creature comes into play, I guess it's both players, but that creature's controller can choose to have a deal damage equal to its power to target creature or player. Versus, is there anything, what's this? Again, this is a commander card, I guess. Draw 2 cards, discard a card, create X, more zombie making. Zombie druid making. Yeah, okay, well, we'll take Pandemonium since we're leaning into just sheer nonsense here, I guess. Elemental Mastery is an aura that, if we could get our creature out, would be pretty cool. I am still not seeing anything to go with our big guys. And also nothing here that's just like a basic good on-rate creature in our colors. Shoot, this is much more complex than some of the other things I did. This is a basic on-rate creature, I suppose, but like I'm not in this space. So we'll take this mastery and continue to trust that we're gonna get hooked up with something that will allow us to do work. There's that Enchanted Evening that we saw that would work in a different deck. Okay, Runaway Steamkin I think is just a good card. This is the first like just good card I've seen in a while. Everything else is wild and is kind of making my brain hurt. There's also Gutter Bones. I'll take the Steamkin for now. Countryside Crusher. Looks like it lets me get lands off the top of my deck. Good in the late game, I guess. A buyback. 5. I can keep recurring creatures back to my hand. Could work with a Dreadnought if I had something to do with it. I find buyback is problematic at times. It can let the it can be what the game becomes all about. There's buyback in some of the other cubes in my playgroup, and I don't love the mechanic. This enchantment is this removal? Pay a life, put the top card of your library into your graveyard, discard a card, sacrifice this thing, and destroy a creature. That is a lot of work to destroy a creature. I'm just going to take the red card. Back to, this is the wheel, I suppose. Beginning of your upkeep. Right. Harmless Offering. I could give something away. If I would have seen that in pack 1, pick 1, I could have got the Offering and the Pact as a 2-card combo. I guess we're a little bit past that right now. We don't have any elementals. Highest upside card. There we go. Explosive Singularity. This is deal 10 damage to any target, but it costs a lot. Reduce for each creature tapped this way. So if we had tokens, getting cut out of black. So there's nonsense. This is a cube. Let's just take the cycling, destroy an artifact. I think we're doing much of anything with this stuff. So I'll just take the red card, and actually I'll just practically cut that, I guess. Case of the Crimson Pulse. Solved at the beginning of your upkeep. Discard your hand, then draw 2 cards. Okay, well that's good card advantage. The Eternity Elevator was actually kind of crappy. I don't know, there's the sigil from before. Take the Decree, take the Barren Glory. Okay, so we finished pack 1. We're thoroughly confused. I have 2 payoffs for being able to cheat the end of a turn, but no particular way to do that yet. And a lot of cards I don't know that I want to play. So, hopefully this pack will be kinder to us. More of the discarding stuff. So this is Power Throw Graveyard, Journal. On the other, that's discard your hand, transform the journal. You can cast spells from your graveyard. If you do, that comes with finality. Okay, sure. Name a card, reveal it at random from your hand. If it's a named card, that seems really hard to do without a lot of scrying. Magistrate Scepter, oldie but a goodie, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what I want from this pack. I guess I'll just take the Souls of the Lost and Hope. Faithless Salvaging, Play on Looting, Glorious End. Oh, hey, look, end the turn. Okay, fine. The beginning of your next end step, you lose the game. Okay. Although it works with the Dreadnought and the Eater, I don't know that it's particularly good. It's the closest thing that I have to this is do the thing so far. Copy target activated ability. So I kind of want the opposite of that. Exchange target opponent's life total with its toughness. Sure. If I have a bunch of discard things, I'll just take the containment construct, I guess. We're going to Mutavault. Now, terminal velocity. So you can put an artifact or creature from your hand on the battlefield. Permanent gains haste. And when this permanent leaves the battlefield, deals damage equal to its mana value to each creature. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice this permanent. So for 7 mana, I could bring in a Dreadnought, bury it right away. Yeah, I couldn't actually combo this because this is a sorcery. Oh no, I'd play this, so it's 6 mana. I'd get one of the big guys out, sacrifice it right away to deal 12 to everything. That seems not good. It's not. I want ways to keep the Dreadnought around. The whip would be good if I was actually doing the thing. Okay, well, we'll take the card that's supposed to go with it, and we'll see how we go. We have a land, we have a Grin Bauble. Okay, we got some discard stuff in here. Stormkill Artist. Again, I'm not seeing any ways to enable my stuff. So we have just some simple removal here. The dual land. We haven't picked up a land yet, so we'll grab the land. This pack, again, there's more really weird cards. Be interesting to see what the average deck looks like in this cube. Sacrifice all other permanents I control and discard my hand because I want to. So if I get this guy in to do combat damage, I can cast 6 cards off the top for free. Probably not good. If I have a way to get him out hastily, I guess, like cheat him out with haste, which, I mean, that's a lot of mana to try and do those. I'd need like a haste to your team or something. I guess let's take the demon for now. Undying Flames deals damage to mana cost. After removing cards from my library, not so great. When I cycle or discard, it gets bigger, so that's the discard deck. I got some stacks in here. Not that I'm thinking of splashing, but there's... Yeah, no, this is very weird. Maybe what I will do is just take the simple card and give my brain a break. Over here, sacrificed the Necromancer, return a card from the grave to the battlefield. It gains haste. Be in the next end step, sack it. I mean, okay, that does work with the demon, not so much with the other things, but at this point I'll take what I can get that resembles synergy. Okay, this pack has like nothing for me except a pickaxe, which I don't think I care about. I don't think I've seen a free spell, so I guess something I could potentially donate. Did I take? Yeah, I took a Demonic Pact. Well, there's a donate for it, maybe in some world. Not even a land I want. Take the colorless bad card. There's that weird end of the game, or end the turn. I don't think I'm gonna play it. It's just too high risk. You'd have to be able to win with 4 mana, cast a Dreadnought. They gotta be at 12 with no blockers. I don't know. That seems unlikely. The bots have really cut me off here, so we're just gonna take some stuff. Could be with a cube like this that's very non-standard. The bots are just pretty clueless, and human drafters, you'd have a better go of it. So pack 3. Usually at this point I have like almost too much of a deck in a lot of test drafts. This time I don't feel like I have a deck. So we're gonna try and fix that. So we have got to sacrifice at the start of the turn. We have a board wipe, which we should probably take because we're a little bit combo-y. This is all activated abilities of stuff in my graveyard. Let's just take the wipe. I feel this deck's gonna, if it's ever gonna work, it's gonna need to just survive. Another thing that deals with or gets all activated abilities of things in the graveyard. Flashback to all of my instants and sorceries. Spinning another buyback card. No, yeah, just take the simple removal again. Twin shot sniper is just immediately good. Now I'm finding that the removal at least. Put a token on the battlefield that's copy target creature in your graveyard except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. Gains haste, sacrifice at the end of the next step. No, back for seconds. There's a lot of graveyard stuff. Gamble, library of a card put in your hand. Then discard a card at random. I do not like doing that. Take the creature that I can channel for damage. I'm not going to get anything to actually enable my my Dreadnought. Out of the Tombs is interesting. I guess that would go with, I saw something that lets you exile your library. This must go with it. Although that wouldn't put anything in your graveyard, so maybe that's a nombo. I just take a piece of fixing. Domain, we're not there. Another station land. A lot of stations in here. Make a 2/2 artifact. We're getting, look at all the green cards in here. This is nuts. Maybe we create 2/2 robot, then creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste. Kind of maybe works. Bone Miser. When you discard a card, make a zombie. When you discard land, add black. Okay, sure. We're not really discarding enough. Sacrifice 3 artifacts. No. Devilish Valet. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, I'm not creating enough creatures for him. And some Izzet lands. Did I pick up the... No, I didn't pick up the card that I could splash for there. I guess I'll take the... Gosh, he's expensive. An infect thing. I mean, this would combo if I could have gotten something to do haste. So we're probably not doing that. Scrounger, just a 2-drop. Oh, there's making goats, but we're not making goats with this deck. Over here, oh, there's another goat. Whenever one of our creatures enter the battlefield, if it's suspected, you can... Okay, sure. A fireball, sort of. Woestrider is just a good clean card. Flying Haste, Madness. Sacrifice a land, make a golem. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much I'm doing with any of this. Oh, there's the namesake of the cube right there. The Springjack Shepherd. Whenever you sack a creature, a card. Yeah, we're just going back around now. So we're just going to finish this out kind of quickly. I feel like we have drafted a pile that is not functional, and I'm not sure if I just got trapped by a card that's not well supported in the Dreadnought and the... What's the other one? Where is the other one? Dreadnought and... the big guy here that skipped 2 turns wherever he went. Did I accidentally cut him? Oh yeah, there he is, the 9/8, the Eater of Days. I don't know if I got trapped by the Eater of Days in the Dreadnought, or if I just got unlucky. Really hard to say. Cube Cobra do that. So, I mean, we can try and build this deck. I just don't see a world where it works. This gains haste. I mean, I guess we gotta try that. Like, that a little bit works. Worst case scenario, we make 3 zombies. We just need board presence. Pandemonium, that does, that can be a way to win. Elemental Mastery, I have to stick something for that to matter. I think in this deck, I can't afford a 4-mana aura. I got 15 creatures. The case is a good source of board presence if I can do it. This spaceship, it's not going to hit for very many. I don't have all that many artifacts. I have like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, spaceship's bad. 2 more cuts, and I haven't even got to the creatures. I think I just need the cycling. Worst case scenario, I can cycle it. Board wipe is important. The infect does give me a 1-shot if I can find a way to stick things. Like, if I'm going to be really stupid about it, if I find that glorious end, and I have Tainted Strike, and I find someone to get the Dreadnought on the board, I have like 5 mana or whatever, it technically works. I don't want to gamble. I don't like that effect. I hate discarding cards at random. I just won't do it. And, okay. Are there any truly terrible creatures? I mean, I know there's some that don't really fit. I'm not an aggro deck. It grows when I cast red spells. I have not an ideal number of red, but I think I just need to do it. Plus it'll help me cast some of the bigger stuff later. Souls of the Lost, again, not my favorite, but we'll do it. Apprentice Necromancer could help with the Dreadnought. No, it won't. Sorry, it'll help with the Eater of Days. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm doing kind of this. I'm not really about this Smothering Abomination. Okay, so this is my deck. All these lands. This just searches up a... That's not good. This station land is fine. I don't have a lot of faith in this deck. I guess I feel like there should have been some more straightforward ways to enable Eater and Dreadnought. And maybe what I'll do is I'll save this deck. That'll mean that Devoted Shepherd can take a look at it later. So could I suppose. Let's just jump over to the list for a second. Maybe I just got wildly unlucky. So if we look for, counter target activated ability. That should be enough here. Counter target activated. Doesn't work. Oh, I need sorry. Counter target activated. Okay, let me see. So I could have picked up something in blue or green, which I was not in. Or blue, activated or triggered ability. I would have absolutely splashed for either of those had I seen it. Alright, whoops, I'm just going to cut in on myself right here. When I was talking about the Phyrexian Dreadnought during the original recording, I'd been talking about activated abilities and how you want to cancel one of those. Obviously, when you look at the Dreadnought, there is not an activated ability in sight. When the Phyrexian Dreadnought comes into play is an ETB, that's a triggered ability, so I did my search for support a little bit wrong, so let's just correct that here and see if it makes a difference. So we'll just go triggered on the cube list. So it brings up 2 extra results, so it's still not very supported. We have the repudiate and replicate and defabricate that we saw earlier. There's also disallowed, counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. So you can see why that didn't come up with the previous search. And lithoform engine, but that actually doesn't support it. We don't want to double the sack trigger at all. So still not a ton of support, but I just wanted to correct the record. Thanks, back to the video. The other thing that could have helped is some less risky end of the turn cards, like Sundial or something. Okay, well, we got the Glorious End, and we didn't see Sundial as far as I know, so that would have worked. But really not a lot of support for those 2 cards, or at least not in the way I see. A little more support for the Eater than the Dreadnought, just because the Dreadnought, my understanding is he has to sacrifice himself. When he comes into play, either sacrifice a number of creatures or he's gone. You don't even get to swing with him if you give him haste. Whereas Eater of Days, at least, you get it out, and you're probably going to skip 2 turns, and that's going to suck a lot, but at least you get to swing with it. I mean, it's flying and trample, so it's high risk, medium reward. In a 540 cube, I guess I worry about having such a light package, because like in the case I had, when you only get a couple of pieces of it and the rest of the pieces just are no-shows, you can end up accidentally trapping players. Also, I think the bots didn't do me any favors here. They definitely were cutting off some of my colors, and I was being a little bit stubborn. Overall, really interesting cube. I had to think a lot more than I was expecting to. Especially when I got into pack 3, and maybe this has just been, it's been a long day at work, but I was really kind of feeling tired reading all the cards and trying to piece together what the heck I could possibly do with my pile. So yeah, neat cube. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and see you next time.